All right, good evening. Welcome, everyone. Thank you so much for joining us. And if you have not started, go ahead and dig into your salad. Let's go ahead and get going with dinner, right? All right. Well, thank you all so much for coming tonight. And I realize we've got a lot of alumni in the room. So first and foremost, welcome home. It's great to see you all. Yeah. And I tell you what, we are overjoyed. This is my absolute favorite event of the year, and we have got 8 incredible people that we'll be honoring tonight. At your tables, you have a program, so you can read all about them. They've done some incredible things, and we couldn't be more happy about celebrating them in this moment. Just a couple things. I want to thank our catering staff for this wonderful food tonight. And you're only at the salad, but it's going to be a fantastic meal. So can we give them a round of applause too? And I just want to recognize that why we're doing this event, we have these incredible honorees, and we're taking a moment out of homecoming to lift them up, because they're great examples for future generations of what's possible through this community, through a UNCA degree, and we're hoping that they will inspire others to continue in their footsteps and make a great place even greater. And so with that being said, I would like to invite up a special person to the stage, our interim chancellor, Kim Van Noort. She has served as our interim provost previously in the fall semester, and most recently she was a chief academic officer of the North Carolina State System. And prior to UNCA, she worked at the University of Texas at Arlington for over 20 years in various roles, including Associate Vice Provost for Undergraduate Studies, Director of University College, Associate Dean of Liberal Arts, and a tenured faculty member in the Department of Modern Languages. And she holds a PhD in French Language and Literature from Boston University. So please join me in welcoming Chancellor Van Noort.
Thank you. This is a wonderful sight from up here. I wish you could all come up here and see this sea of blue and these faces and all of these people who've come home here for homecoming at UNC Asheville. This is truly an honor for me to be here with this incredible group of faculty, staff, and students, and now the alumni. And I'm seeing what it is that happens here at this institution. I see that in all of you out there. I read about it in the distinguished folks that we're honoring tonight. So welcome home. We're very happy that you're here. We hope you get to spend a little bit of time on our campus. I'm sure you'll hear a little bit later about even more festivities that we have going on. Hoping you're all planning to come to the basketball game tomorrow afternoon. There's a gathering in front by the Bulldog in front of the Sherrill Center. We have a lot of wonderful things happening tomorrow. And so we hope to be there, and I hope to get to meet many of you individually and talk a little bit about I'd like to hear about your experiences here at UNC Asheville, what you loved about this place, and what brings you back. So thank you for being here, and with no further ado, let's get on with the awarding of these awards to our amazing alumni.
All right, what do you say? Should we give out some awards? Yeah, let's go ahead and do that. All right, well, let's go ahead and start with our Order of Pisgah Award for Alumni Achievement. Named in homage to Mount Pisgah, one of our tallest peaks in the campus's visual center, it recognizes degreed or non-degreed alumni for outstanding achievement in their fields of endeavor. This year's honoree is Tara Callahan from the class of 2004. Tara, please join me at this podium. Now, a bit about Tara. She was nominated by political science professor Mark Gibney, who described Tara as a relentlessly passionate student who carried her calling for criminal justice reform into a successful career. After a decade of service with nonprofit advocacy, she founded Conservatives for Criminal Justice Reform. Through her work, she has continually sought to tackle our society's issues in a collaborative and bipartisan way. We honor her tonight for embodying the UNCA spirit of service, passion, and the pursuit of common ground. Please join me once again in honoring Tara Callahan.
found I'm a much better speaker without notes, which is initially terrifying when you start speaking. I spoke with Dr. Gibney yesterday, and I was trying to come up with the title of my speech, which is ludicrous because I've spent 15 years doing events around the country on criminal justice, so I couldn't figure out quite why it was so hard for me to figure out my title for UNC Asheville, except that I can't just come here and give a presentation about criminal justice because everything about who I am professionally and personally is directly related to my experience on this campus. I grew up with parents who ran group homes for adults with brain injuries, so I knew very early that I wanted to be a person who was going to change the world. I thought that was as a civil rights attorney, and I was the geek that took every class you could imagine. I could not be dissuaded, despite some of my professors' best efforts, until I had a horrific car accident my senior year. And the first time that I saw Dr. Gibney, who I did not remember to adequately thank because, as I said, I'm terrible at writing my notes for my speeches. The first time we spoke, as I was in the hospital, first thing I said was, I'm not going to be a lawyer anymore. We worked together on the Moratorium Coalition at UNCA, and when I started that work, I didn't quite know what I thought about the death penalty. I'd never thought about it. And I realized that's really it's a consistent theme throughout my work in criminal justice. Most people don't think about the criminal justice system unless they are directly impacted by it or somebody they know is directly impacted by it. But it impacts all of us. We as a society are defined by the way that we treat people in our prisons. And I've spent my life in that work because of my experience here at UNC Asheville. Started out working on the death penalty, and I did that for about 10 years until the legislature flipped, and I recognized that we needed to figure out a way to find common ground. So I started Conservatives for Criminal Justice Reform, and I've just been looking to figure out ways that we can find common ground, which is something that I think that we're all really looking for at this point. So I am so beyond grateful for my experience here, not only because when it comes March at the North Carolina legislature and everybody asked, are you a Tar Heel or a Duke fan? And I'm like, sorry, not applicable. I'm a Bulldog. Yeah, Dre. But I'm just so honored and I'm so grateful, and I am who I am because of everybody in this room, and everyone in here exemplifies everything about the excellence that this university produces. And I'm so honored to be part of this. Thank you so very much.
Tara, I'll give this to you. Thank you, Tara. All right. Now our next award is the Thomas D. Reynolds Alumni Award for Service to the University. It's named in honor of the son of the university's founder and graduate of the class of 1937. Thomas D. Reynolds spent 60 years as one of the university's strongest advocates and most active volunteers. The award recognizes one alumni or alumnus each year for exemplary service to UNC Asheville. We are proud to honor Greg Garrison, class of 2005, as this year's recipient. Greg, please join me at the podium. This is a special one for me. Greg is a good friend, and he's a staple around here. Pretty much anywhere on campus you might find Greg with some delicious ice cream, which is great. Greg's many contributions to the university over the years are too many to list at this moment. Perhaps it is best to say that whenever UNCA put out a call to serve, Greg answered. And when he did, he gave more of himself than was asked, and he continually serves UNCA with a friendly smile and a heart to make this place even better. He owns the Hop Ice Cream Parlor, which is a fantastic, fantastic place, and you'll see it all over campus as well, with his wife and fellow alum, Ashley Garrison. We honor Greg tonight for embodying dedication, loyalty, and an endless generosity. Please join me once again in honoring Greg Garrison.
Thank you, Michael. And thank you to everyone for being here and putting this together. It is a very proud thing for me to stand up and hold this and be acknowledged. But it's very easy. This relationship that Ashley and I have been able to build here has been something that it never took really any thought. It was just very easy, and I think that speaks to the type of university that UNC Asheville is, the type of people that are attracted to it from the professor standpoint, from the student standpoint, from the student-athlete standpoint. And it's kind of weird to think back at the 23-year relationship now, and it's like probably 3/4 of the people in this room are people that I would want to give a hug to every time I saw them. So it's I'm doing my part in this, in perpetuating the relationship, in encouraging other people to explore the relationship and find ways to do what they can. It's been very convenient for me as a business owner that's so close to campus to do ice cream at a sporting event. But other people are going to maybe have a little bit harder time than I have to build those relationships, but they should still try, and it's worth it. And I feel like that if there's anything that I have to say about that is that the effort is worthwhile. The intention, the thought that you put into it, it does matter. And there's people that you probably can't even begin to understand how much of an impact that you've had on their lives just by being a participant in the relationship. So yeah, thank you. I'm honored. I am grateful, and will happily put this up in the living room that I can see it every day. So thank you.
Thank you, Greg. I will also point out at this moment the awards for our Alumni Association winners are actually unique custom pottery made right here from our students at UNC Asheville. So these are one of a kind and match the UNC spirit of uniqueness. Next, I'd like to invite up to the podium a special person, our Alumni Association Board of Directors Chair-elect Steve Tuttle, who's going to introduce an award that's very dear to him.
Okay, well, thank you, Michael, very much. The Alumni Distinguished Faculty Award is presented annually to one faculty member who has gone above and beyond the call of duty in advising and mentoring students. Tonight, we are pleased to recognize Professor Emeritus of History, Milton Reddy. Dr. Reddy, please join us at the podium. Milton Reddy was a trusted advisor and wise mentor to hundreds of history students. He served for many years as the university's pre-law advisor, helping scores of students get admitted to law school. In addition to having a profound effect on the lives and careers of his students, he's a prolific author whose books include The Tar Heel State, A New History of North Carolina. More than 40 years ago, Dr. Reddy was my advisor, so I can personally testify to how highly Dr. Reddy's students think of him. So on behalf of generations of grateful alumni, we We thank Milton Reddy by presenting him the Alumni Distinguished Faculty Award.
First of all, I would like to tell all of you how very special it is to be here tonight. I know a great many of you, and I have such fond memories of this place. I really do. And I will tell you that a great many of us could have taught at different universities, different places, but this university is very, very special. It always will be. I will tell you that it's an honor to look at you and to see all of you and how much you have served this community and this university. And I have to say this, I'm especially honored to be here with Greg Garrison, who owns the Hop. And that is an Asheville institution. And I'm glad it's in good hands, Greg. When I retired years ago, my lovely wife, Nita, said to me, you know, you had a good career. So many good things have happened to you. You've taught here. You've gotten a few awards, published a couple of books, raised your children. This is just a wonderful place. She said, I don't think that anything can help your reputation except death. But I will tell all of you that tonight and this award has very much helped my reputation. And I will tell you that the idea that you can never be replaced, my replacement is here tonight, Ellen Holmes Pearson, Vice Provost, by the way. So we can all be replaced, but this university never can. Thank you very much.
All right, thank you so much. All right, at this time, it is my great pleasure to welcome UNC Asheville's Director of Athletics, Janet Cohn, to the stage. Janet has served in her role since 2004 and is presently serving as the first Vice President of the IAAA Athletic Directors Association and as a member of the National Association of Collegiate Directors of Athletics Executive Committee. Ladies and gentlemen, Janet Cohn.
All right, Bulldogs, let's get fired up. I want to welcome you to the 2023 Bulldog Athletic Hall of Fame. If you don't know, Mike Gore started this many years ago, and he's a Hall of Fame member, so thank you. And we've been very fortunate for, gosh, I guess 10 years. TD Bank is our presenting sponsor. So I would like to ask our good friend, who's also a longtime community member and a true friend of this university, Charles Frederick from TD Bank, to come up.
Thank you, Janet, and it's great to be here with everybody tonight. And when we were looking this up and realized that we've been sponsoring all these awards for the Hall of Fame for 10 years, I thought, well, I've been married 35. So let's just go back and remember what 10 was like. And so I said, okay, I'm going to look up and see what 10 years means. And I thought these 4 words describe the Bulldog Athletics, believe it or not. Janet didn't trust me on this one when I looked it up. Strength and resilience. This was the old-timey way of a 10-year reunion. Did you ever give tin and aluminum to your bride or your husband for your 10th anniversary? That's what it used to be. Now it's diamonds. Little difference. And those stand for love and durability. So if you think about Bulldog Athletics, strength, resilience, love, and durability were 4 words that we thought described that when I looked at it. I said, hey, that works, so I'll use it. So I just want to say thank you. We are glad to be sponsors of this. This has been a wonderful 10 years. My wife Sandy and I, I'm sorry she could not be here tonight, have been longtime supporters of the university and Bulldog Athletics. A lot of you may not know much about TD Bank. We have a pending merger with First Horizon Bank, which will add 100 offices for us in North Carolina, and it'll make us the 6th largest bank in the country. And we're looking forward to that. We'll be Maine to Texas, and I hope I stay right here. I'm not planning on going anywhere. So again, congratulations to all the inductees of the Hall of Fame and the alumni, and hope to see you at the game tomorrow. Go Bulldogs.
Thank you, Charles, and thanks again to TD Bank. We really appreciate you so very much. Our first inductee is Betsy Blows. She has enjoyed a very successful coaching career at UNC Asheville. Here to introduce Betsy are two of her former assistant basketball coaches, Fazl Khan and Adele Harris. Please come to the stage.
Thanks, Shannon. Good evening, everyone. Good evening, everyone. There you go. Come on now. My name's Fazl Khan, and I was fortunate enough to be here as an assistant coach for Coach Blows from 2002 to 2007 at UNC Asheville here. Coach hired me in 2001 at Shepherd University, and the week before she hired me, it was August of 2001, we had just moved my brother into graduate housing in New York City. And my parents and myself were quite proud. And my second week of work at Shepherd, Tuesday, September 11th, and I'm about an hour from the border of Maryland, West Virginia, where Shepherd University is located, and Antietam Battlefield for you Civil War historians. And I remember seeing Humvees and all kinds of military vehicles coming on my drive to the border of West Virginia and Maryland. And it's my first week of work, mind you. I'm 25. I'm young. I think I know everything. I know everything, right? You guys are supposed to laugh at that? Thank you. Appreciate it. Right? Thank you. I'll be here all night. So, we get to campus. Obviously, for those of you that remember 9/11, that Tuesday morning, afternoon, classes are canceled on the campus. I, as a youngin, my parents are originally from India and Pakistan, and Mark and I used to play some tennis. And it's tough because we didn't know where my brother was. He was in New York City. We didn't know where he was. At the time, for those of you old enough, we used to have pagers. We didn't have cell phones. So I kept on looking at my pager, couldn't get a hold of it. Betsy kept on telling me, hey, relax, young man. It'll be okay. Your parents will get a call. But what I remember about that day, and I will not break Eddie Bietenbach's speaking record, so I'll keep this short. But what I remember, I love you, Coach B. But what I remember that day was Coach kept our whole team, our whole squad, calm and present and in the moment. We're watching the news. There's all kinds of information going. And for those of you that love social media, for me, I'm not on any of those platforms. But I love how news travels, and we're able to be so connected with one another. Back then, it wasn't the case. Coach kept us all calm that day. We eventually, as a team, as a group, went to the Red Cross Donation Center. Those that wanted to donate, donated. That afternoon, Coach came over and was like, Fazl, go home. Find out if your brother's okay. Got home, everything was okay. And once again, for those of you that have been hired at a job, it's typically your responsibility to call your boss and let her know that everything is okay, right? She called me that night. How's your brother? How's everything? For me, Coach's holistic approach to the student athlete, I worked with her for 6 years, and the way she treated her players, her staff members, administration, community service projects, just everything was rooted in empathy, connectivity, and communication. Those things sound so damn simple, but they are very, very hard to articulate and to achieve. And I can remember Betsy just keeping everybody calm and poised. And when we got to Asheville the first year, I think our record was 3-25. The year before, the men went to the NCAA tournament, and the women's team was 1-27. Yeah, our second year, Adele showed up, and we went 19-9. You know, it was all Adele and Betsy. I just was along for the ride, and I appreciate them having me. The second thing I'll real quickly point out, Coach has got a little silly sense of humor. When I was at Shepherd, we were on a bus trip. The trip was a little bit tense. We were headed to play, you weren't there, but I was, Wheeling Jesuit, West Virginia, I think border of West Virginia, Pennsylvania. And we were watching Braveheart, those of you that remember William Wallace. And the kids were just anxious, and we needed to win this game to maybe get to 18 or 19 wins. And the next day, about 3 minutes before tip-off, I hear just and it's Betsy sprinting into the locker room, pantsuit, kilt around her pantsuit, face paint, and a plastic sword, dressed up as William Wallace, trying to get a laugh out of our players. We went out and beat Wheeling Jesuit that day, right? We won. So, second inspiration, more connected to UNC Asheville. High Point absolutely obliterated us. Yeah, right? Yep, to Eloy, go home. You know, so back then, just like the pagers, Garrison, you remember, we had VHS tapes, right? So Adele and I have the High Point tape. We've broken down the scout, and we both, our advice to Coach is, Coach, flush it down. Just flush it down. Let's not even talk about it. Adele brought a hammer to Coach. I brought the VHS tape. Coach gathered all the players and absolutely obliterated the VHS tape. And we went out and beat the crap out of High Point. Right. Adele, have I cursed yet?
No, we're not cursing.
Okay, all right. So I'm going to hand it over. Like good assistant coaches, we've kind of handled this thing. I was going to talk about Coach's holistic approach. I wanted to thank you, Betsy. I've been coaching D1 for a while. I don't know why I haven't been fired, but I always appreciate you and just the way you made us feel and included. The last thing I want to give a shout out to is all our players. You know, we always talk about coaches. We always players. I see John. I know I wasn't here right after John. Congratulations to you, sir, for your induction. But the players are what matters. Always. That's what counts. Always. I'm going to pass it over to Coach Harris. I appreciate your time.
I'll be brief. Good evening. Congratulations to everybody being recognized and getting awards for alumni recognition as well as their athletic achievements. I think it's absolutely incredible. When I come back here, I feel like I'm with family. When you share the time that we've shared together, just feels like a little family reunion. So thank you for even inviting me, Coach Blows. Really, really, really grateful to be here for you. I'll just say one thing. UNC Asheville women's basketball in the NCAA Division I era did not get started until Betsy Blows was hired. It was 16 seasons of below average, non-existence, and that's not anybody's fault. It's very hard to transition into the Division I level as it relates to leadership and resources and all sorts of things. But the facts are the facts, and that when Coach Blows was hired, prior to that, UNC Asheville women's basketball at the Division I level had only had one winning season in 16 seasons. And Coach Blows did that in year 2 with 19 wins and the biggest turnaround in NCAA history.
When Adele got here.
I wasn't going to say that, but that just needs to be said. I think just the trailblazer and the vision. There's a really good book called the Bible that says, write the vision down and make it plain, and those will run to it. And it may tarry, which means it may take a while, but it will come to pass. And so one thing Coach Blows had was a vision. She had the audacity to believe that the worst Division I women's basketball program in the country could somehow participate in the NCAA tournament and compete for championships. And she just said this stuff all the time. And she started brainwashing all of us into thinking we were so much better than we had been before. And then it manifested into a real life thing that we could feel and we could touch and we could breathe it. And it keeps our synergy and energy and love alive today. And so I'm very grateful for her for dreaming so big for this place. And the women's basketball program at this point is able to be successful because somebody blazed that trail first, and it was Betsy Blows. So, welcome to the Hall of Fame. You deserve it.
Thank you so much. All right, if Dr. Van North would join us, and Betsy, if you'd make your way up. Thank you both so much. I'm going to try to add a little bit to that. Betsy Blows coached the Bulldogs for 10 seasons from 2003 to 2012. In her time leading the Bulldogs, Betsy racked up a program record 125 wins and guided our 2006-07 team to the program's first NCAA tournament appearance after capturing the Big South Tournament title. After 2012, Betsy remained a big part of the university and athletics by serving as the special assistant, trust me, I needed an assistant, to the director of athletics. Betsy engaged and connected with all of our student athlete alumni, bringing them back to the university, encouraging them, reminding them about the pride of being a Bulldog. She has been a part of a team that is dedicated to leadership, servant leadership, and making us much, much better. And those of you in the audience probably also know she was never afraid to go out and help us raise money for the Bulldog Challenge, Our Turn to Play, or the Bulldog Athletic Association Golf Classic. Betsy, Chancellor Van North and I would like to welcome you to the Athletics Hall of Fame. Betsy Blows.
Over here.
Oh, wow. I have notes. I do read something so I stay on. I used to run this Hall of Fame event. It's 5 minutes. I get 5 minutes. So. First of all, I want to thank Fassel and Adele. It means so much to me that I'm already getting emotional. It means so much to me that you're here. You are only as great as the people that you surround yourself with. And I certainly share this recognition with the both of you. We wouldn't have had the success without them there on the sideline. You spend so much time with these people, with your coaches, your players, your staff, and you become a family. And even though I don't see you very often, I consider you both family. Thank you, and I love you both. I want to share this award with all the many student athletes that I had the privilege to coach. Players make plays, and we certainly made many memorable plays over the years. To all my former UNC Asheville colleagues, Janet, all our Bulldog friends that are here, thank you for your support, your guidance, your friendship over the years. Thank you to the Hall of Fame committee, my man Mike Gore, and a special congratulations, because I did work with the alumni, to our John Williams and Kevin Madison for your accomplishments and your induction this evening. So well deserved. I also want to thank, I have 2 tables of friends and family here tonight, and I'm using tonight to thank some people. I shared a lot of stories with Fassel this morning and out there drinking a glass of wine. So I want to thank some people that are here tonight. My good friend Darlene's here, Oscar's other mom. That's an inside joke. Andrew and Jimmy Jackson, you were always there for me, the good and the bad, all of it, and I love you guys. My good friend Teresa Clark is here, my good Asheville friend, who I'm committed to doing a monthly date with each month. She helped me nurse my sore back. I don't think I'd be standing here. I hurt my back, and she helped me be up here tonight. My good friend Ellen Garrison is here. My former Asheville friend, now moved to Georgia to be near her new granddaughter, is here tonight. And I do miss our morning runs and our conversation, but I really appreciate you being here tonight. My hometown Virginia friend, Jean Willie, is here. Gina's like a sister to me, like I need another sister. She's like another sister, a part of the family. You know, we've been showing up for each other, I mean, for our whole entire life. And it just means so much that you showed up tonight. Thank you, Gina. Four of my six sisters are here tonight. My twin sister, Barbara Palmer. Where's Barbara? There she is. Her husband, Mark, is here. Susan and Tom, her husband, Tom. My sister, Sarah, and her husband, Jack. Kathy's here with her son and my nephew, Whit. Thank y'all for being here. I mean, most of y'all know. If you don't know, I grew up on a big dairy farm in Virginia. There's 7 daughters, no brothers. And we were pretty incredible. I mean, we had our own teams, you name it, we did it. But it's on this farm with all my sisters, and I'm speaking for myself. I'm not sure if they would agree, but this is where we learn the value of hard work, discipline, teamwork, and stewardship. And I'm so thankful every day for this life that I had on the farm. My mom is here. Yeah, I need my mom to stand up. Mom, stand up, Mom. My mom. I will go off script. When we won the championship in 2007, Janet went up in the stands, and after we won, I'm looking for my mom, and I can't find her. And Janet went up in the stands and brought my mom down to the floor, and it was just it was just a very special moment. Yeah. So, Mom, you're the center and the core of this family, of my being and my existence. I love you, and I thank you for being here. I don't know why I'm getting emotional. My wife, Jen, is here. Okay. Yes. Jen never got to see me coach. It's probably a good thing. She was never in my life when I was coaching, and like I say, it's probably a good thing. But I do feel like you get the best version of me. I guess that's a good thing, right? Every day. And so, thank you, Jen, for doing this life with me. I love you very much. And lastly, and I'm going to finish up here, I want to dedicate tonight to my dad. Most of you know my father died in 2004. It was really sudden thing. He was bigger than life. Never knew a stranger. He never agreed with the officials. And he would often show up in a pregame huddle, a lot of times telling me what to say. And he would also find himself back to the locker room after a game. But on some occasions when we would lose, and my mom shared a story about this, I could hear him in the stands, especially like at Liberty, when we go to Liberty, and sometimes often more than not, get beat, I could hear him yelling at me to suck it up, Bets, and I would hold my head up high and leave the floor. But I dedicate this to my dad, and I miss him every single day. I leave you tonight with some words that Jen and I heard from a song. Remember this, Jen, called the Forever Now. This is how I'm going to leave you tonight. They say time will tell, but I think she likes to keep secrets. So we will wait and see. But it's just as well. The years can be counted in seconds, and that is fine with me. Because I get this moment with you forever now. It all hits me at once, forever now. If there is a right way to say it, I'm still learning how. Maybe all that we have is the forever now. Thank y'all so much. Go Bulldogs. It's harder than I think.
Yeah, let's give it up for Betsy. She's one of the best. Yeah, absolutely. Everybody loves Betsy. Really appreciate Betsy. I thought for a brief moment, though, you were going to beat Coach Beanbach's record for how long you can speak at a Hall of Fame. That's an inside joke. But our next inductee is Kevin Madison, who enjoyed a stellar baseball career here at UNC Asheville. Speaking of a Hall of Famer, we have a Hall of Famer who's going to introduce him, who's well known to the Asheville community. Coach Tom Smith, please come up.
When I first saw Athletic Director Cone, I apologized before we even got started. So she was worried about a big comedy routine, but you're not going to get that tonight. My wish is that I can just hold it together. A bond between a dad and a son that begins in the backyard and ends up in the major leagues. Something special. So I got a few things written down. The print gets bigger and there's more pages to turn as I get older, but here we go. I'm Tom Smith, the former head baseball coach here at the University of North Carolina, Asheville. And I was so honored that they called me coach. To be here on a special night when legends are being recognized here at UNC Asheville, congratulations to all the inductees. Kevin Madison, a Bulldog from 2005 to 2008, a man who represented us in the major leagues of baseball. His stats are in front of you on that sheet, but I'll point out a couple. Well, career leader in almost every offensive category or in the top 2 or 3, but the 2 I'm most proud of. 2008, all Big South Conference team, and Kevin helped lead the 2006 conference champion baseball squad to the NCAA Clemson Regional. You get analytic stats now in baseball. It comes from the statisticians, the mathematicians, lawyers, economics majors. They rule the stats in baseball now. And one that they have come up with, and this is going to blow you away, is runs. That's really easy to understand. Whoever scores the most runs wins. During Kevin's time here, the way they do it analytically, they take runs. When you reach first base, you get, however, base hit, walk, whatever, and you score, that counts. It's good for the team. Or when you knock in one, it's an RBI. You're knocking in your teammates. Kevin's production over a 4-year period, over 200 games, was 1.6 runs per game. And to put that into perspective, somebody we know, Freddie Freeman, Los Angeles Dodger, former Brave, last year his was 1.3. Or Aaron Judge, the monster year he had as MVP All-World Baseball, his was 1.6. So quite a lot of production from Kevin. Sometimes when Kevin would get ready to play, to motivate him, I'd ask, how does it feel to be the best athlete on the field either side? And Kevin would be humble. I have to play up to that. And play he would. A 5-tool player. A baseball player, position guy, is judged on the ability to hit for power, to throw, to run, and field. And Kevin's 5 tools were always on display. But I loved his running ability and his defense. His running ability allowed him to be an elite defender. Sure singles or doubles in the gaps, Kevin's speed, he'd just take off and run them down. Our pitchers loved him. But he garnered more respect with his no fear for the fences. He's left a lot of marks on the fence at Greenwood Field, the old chain link fence, before they put up pads now, or the old fields, or the field at McCormick where we played some games, the old metal wall. And one play I remember in particular, we're on the road, we're ahead by 1 late in the game, bases are loaded, 2 outs. And here goes a screamer in the left center field gap. If that ball hits the ground, it's bad news for the Bulldogs. Well, all of a sudden, there's a blur. Kevin scaling that fence, slamming into that fence, making that catch, crumples to the ground, holds up the ball for everybody to see. Bulldogs win. And did I say run? To watch Kevin hit a ball to the left side to the third baseman or the shortstop and fly down the first baseline, he could have been a track star. He could have been a wide receiver in football. He could run. And did I say run? His triples, Mike Gore testified to this. The triple, the most exciting offensive play in baseball. The catcher, well, Kevin hits it. Here he goes. He's rounding first base. The strides get longer and faster. Just perfect running form. The catcher's directing the play from behind the plate. The other 8 defenders are all getting ready to defend that play at third base, and our guy's sliding in there. Exciting to watch. The Florida Marlins liked what they saw and selected Kevin in the 2008 Major League Draft. Listen to this right here. Rising through the minor league ranks, Kevin was assigned to the Arizona Fall League in 2011. He didn't just play, he earned a berth on the All-Star team and won the Stinson Award. First time up, doubles off of Garrett Cole. We know the name? Yeah, pitcher for the New York Yankees currently. Or other participants in that game were Bryce Harper and Mike Trout, Aaron Arenado. Kevin turned it on amongst the elite. And here it is. May 11th, 2012. Kevin gets called to the big leagues. Calls his dad. 15 minutes later, Dad's out the door on the way. He's going to see the first big league game. Why did Kevin play in the big leagues? Because Kevin Madison wanted to play in the big leagues. The grit, the determination, the desire, the willingness to do extra, he did it all. He would call between classes. Can we go do hitting drills? As a team, we would do early outs. Players could come out prior to practice and take extra swings. With Kevin, it was early outs, and my arm's still sore from all those hitting drills and everything else. Kevin also spent time in the Milwaukee Brewers and the Washington Nationals organization and ended in 2015. Something to be proud of for sure. But Kevin is proud of his family. Wife Heather, former volleyball player, an alum here at UNC Asheville. Kevin and Heather have 2 boys, Tucker and Axel. Basketball's going on right now. They both coach. They both wear the title of coach now. Kevin's grit and determination shown on the field has enabled him to push and succeed in the business world, winning many state, district, and regional awards, providing for his family. It's my pleasure and honor, Kevin Madison.
As Kevin's coming up, Dr. Van North will join us. Kevin Madison was a 4-year starter Bulldog in the outfield. He currently holds the Big South record for triples. He ranks as UNC Asheville's all-time leader in triples, total bases, run scores. He also ranks second in at-bats, hits, third in stolen bases, while being fourth in home runs and fifth in RBIs. After his time as a Bulldog, Kevin was drafted in 2008 by the Florida Marlins and made it to the major leagues in May of 2012. Kevin, welcome to the UNC Asheville Athletics Hall of Fame.
Thanks for everyone being here tonight. It's hard to follow that up right there. Coach Smith, I don't think there was a day that went by that I asked him to throw me baseballs, and it was every day. He was our volunteer assistant my senior year, and he had no obligation to be there, and he was there for me. And after my college career, I think, making it professionally, I think that was a huge part of his willingness to work with me. I think that's why I furthered my career was Coach Smith. I can't thank you enough for being there for me. This doesn't get easier, by the way. My parents, my mom and dad, man, y'all have been there since I was a bat boy. I was 4 years old. Y'all, their practices, games, high school games. You drove on the weekends, college games. My dad worked third shift. We moved to North Carolina, and my dad worked third shift. I remember we played 11 o'clock, 12 o'clock day games, and he would leave work in Greensboro, and he would drive to watch me play ball. He'd get a couple hours sleep. Like Coach Smith said, when I got called up to the big leagues, I called my parents. Middle of the night, I think it was 12:30 or so. Called my parents. Is unbelievable call to make. And my dad packed his things up. I think there was a 7 o'clock day game the next day, or 7 o'clock game the next day down in Miami. He packed stuff up and headed south. Picked up my uncle on the way. Met me down in Miami. My parents they've been behind me my whole career. High school ball, college ball, professional ball, and I would have never made it to where I was at without them. Truly blessed to have my parents by my side my whole journey. Wife Heather, like Coach Smith said, she played volleyball here. We started dating in 2006. So there's about 3 seasons I spent with her, and she was not afraid to let me know when I was not doing well. She kept me in check, and trust me, I had my fair share of strikeouts. But she kept me grounded, and she drove hours on the weekends. We'd go to Coastal and Radford or whatever, and her friends, they were there. They supported the Bulldogs, and I couldn't be more thankful to have her by my side the entire journey. And then, professional career, I was roughly 6 years, and I got to see her, half the year at a time. She gave up a lot of sacrifices for me, and I appreciate that. My in-laws, Dawn and Debbie, they're here tonight. They've been supportive of me since day one, since I started dating Heather. Thank you for being there for me, and thank you for being there for her. Our strength coach, Brad DeWeese, as Alan's sitting back there, he can testify, and excuse my language, but Brad DeWeese is now the strength coach for the New York Jets. We had the pleasure, and John Williams, we all had the pleasure, not really a pleasure, of having Brad. Because coming into before a season, we would what we all called Hell Week, and it was amounts of running, strength activities, that it was not fun. I mean, I remember doing wheelbarrow races from the left field foul line to the right field fence, where you had to hold your partner's legs and they had to climb like this all the way to the right field fence, and then you switch back on the way back, or run from the paper printing press. Is that still there down below? Not anymore, but if you know, you know. And then there was this stairway to heaven that you'd had to run. It was straight uphill for I don't know how many miles. But Brad pushed me. Brad pushed me hard. I was an average runner when I came here, and I bought into his program and his 4 years of guidance and strength abilities. I was able to get faster throughout the years. And obviously he knows what he's doing because he's now with the New York Jets. But I could never thank him enough for pushing me. As bad as it sucked going through his programs at times, but it was hard. My aunt and uncle, and Pat and Uncle Jerry, Uncle Jerry made a trip down with my dad to Miami when I got called up. They lived right outside Orlando. They drove up here tonight to share this special moment, and I do appreciate that. Lincolnton family, friends, met them about 4.5 years ago when we moved to Lincolnton, and our kids played ball together. And they're a great group of families, and I'm glad they can make it here tonight. Alan Durant, taking the time, fellow teammate. We go back now, 2004, 18, 19 years. It's crazy to just think that it's been that long. Played together for 4 years. He got inducted to the Hall of Fame a couple years ago for his great abilities. We got to face off our first year of professional baseball in 2009 here at McCormick Field. And he threw me a 3-2 changeup. I was a leadoff hitter. You don't throw 3-2 changeups to leadoff hitters. You throw fastballs. But like Alan anticipated, I was probably looking for a fastball, and I was trying to hit it out against him. So he beat me. I got out, but I'm glad he come here and be here with me tonight. UNCA, I came here as an invite walk-on, no scholarship money. It taught me how to work, how to compete. You dominate the high school level, and you don't know. You just expect it. You get to go play college sport, and you expect to play. That wasn't the case. It was a tough first series. I didn't get to start. I obviously thought I was good enough to start. I didn't. But when I got in, I got a hit and I earned a spot. But UNCA taught me how to grind. We experienced 11 and whatever record our freshman year. It was tough. So it taught me how to deal with failure. And then we come back our sophomore year and we made a regional. So, the highs and lows, the academics, thanks to Janet, Scott Friedholm, and my wife for pushing me after my professional career to come back and get my degree. I left in 2008 with a semester-ish to graduate, and I honestly didn't think I was going to be able to do it. But I finally became a graduate in 2016, so we're here. But these skills of being a team player and competing and grinding, I'm in sales now, and I've been able to use these skills and translate them into my now career, where I'm selling construction equipment for a little over 7 years now. But the hard work and the determination has kept me going. So thanks to UNCA for allowing me to be here and developing these at a young age. And my two boys, Axel and Tucker, I know y'all weren't here during my playing days, but y'all inspire me every day. I hope as you grow, you can experience these same skill sets from a program just like I did, and I can watch y'all grow as individuals. I promise to be there for y'all in your sports. Just as your grandma and your Paco were there for me. Thank you.
Congratulations to Kevin. Our final inductee to the 2023 Athletics Hall of Fame is John Williams, who is an exceptional men's basketball player here at UNC Asheville. Mr. Mike Gore has made his way up here. Mr. Bulldog himself is going to say a few words about John Williams. Come on up.
Thank you, Janet. And I can go as long as Fassel, right? That's okay? Okay, we're great to see you, Coach. Great to see you back here. First off, before I talk about John, I want to congratulate Betsy Blows and Kevin Madison. Kevin, what a great career you had here. Of course, you never played on days like this today, did you? Never at Greenwood Field and stuff. But congratulations on a great career, and you're very well honored to be here today. Stuff. So congratulations, Betsy. It was like 21 years ago this month that I got a call because I was on the search committee for the new women's basketball coach, and this coach from Shepherd kept calling, and we had talked to a lot of different people and stuff, but Betsy wanted the job the most, and it was a great day in early April of 2002 when I was driving, and Joni Comstock, who was our athletic director at the time, called me. I pulled off into the McDonald's in O-Team, which isn't there anymore, but I pulled off, and Joni told me how great Betsy was, and we're going to have a press conference for her. And as Adele pointed out, women's basketball here changed when Betsy Blows got here. So Betsy, congratulations. It's a great deal of privilege to talk about John Williams. When John got to UNC Asheville, he was already a great young man. His parents raised him right. He was 18 going on 28. I mean, he was always very mature. Now, when Coach Biedenbach told me about signing John and stuff, and he talked about what a great athlete he was, and you know, when you hear that from coaches, it could be true or it could not be true. It just depends. But I saw John, what a great athlete he was right away. Now, back then, I had to hire people to work at work sporting events, and John hired John to be a ball roller at a volleyball match. And it was a hard-fought match. The other team we were playing, I forget it was, their coach was a pain in the butt and just complained about everything. So one of our ball runners throws the ball to John, and it looks like it's going to go in the stands. And I thought, oh no, we're going to stop the game. The coach is going to complain. John rises up and catches it, and I said, boy, he's going to be good for us. And boy, was I right on that. That was the first example of his great athleticism, grabbing that volleyball. You know, my beautiful wife Lisa's here tonight, and she was so nice to help keep stats with me during men's and women's basketball games. And watching John play the block shots and the dunks, we gave him a nickname, Superman, because he could leap. He could leap. It was incredible. And watching him, like I said, the block shots and dunks, he got us on SportsCenter a bunch, you know, because we would send some incredible dunk or block, and it'd be their play of the day. And my biggest memory, my real special memory, is the Big South Championship game against Coastal Carolina his senior year. We were playing Coastal Carolina in their little tiny gym. Place was packed, and they were the favorites to win. And their front line was 6'8", 6'8", 6'7", all SEC transfers, and John shut them all down. He had 6 block shots in that game, It's still a Big South championship record, and I can still see the look on Cliff Ellis's face. This guy named Chad Graydon went in. John just took it down. The crowd shouting for goaltending, and this look on Cliff Ellis's face, just resignation that, no, we're not scoring anymore, thanks to John. So it was an incredible job by John and a great career. But while John was a Superman here on the floor, when he left UNC Asheville, he's been a Superman because he has had an incredible career since he left here. You all know about him being in the first of all, being the slam dunk contest where he should have won in his second, despite not missing a dunk. Yes, I'm still mad about it. And then he traveled the world with the Harlem Globetrotters. Then he became, when he came back, he became a high school basketball coach over at Asheville Christian Academy. When I heard the news, I went to Coach McDevitt, and that's not something we saw for John, was being a coach of a girls basketball team. Well, show you how much we know. He's won 2 state titles in the last 3 years, and last year he won with 6 players and everything. And you want more super? He's held these development camps with him and his wife that have helped countless basketball players become better basketball players, help them get into college and show what college is all about on the floor and off the floor. It's amazing what he's done in those camps. And finally, also another thing he's been super at is as a basketball announcer. Get your picture taken with him tonight because he's already getting pretty big time, but he's going to be big time. He started here at UNC Asheville doing color. He's outstanding, and he's going to rise even more. So get your picture taken with him because that's a big time announcer right there. And finally, the place where he really is a Superman is as a father and a husband. He's a proud father of his 2 girls and his wife. And I am delighted, and it's my privilege to introduce Mr. John Williams in the UNC Athletics Hall of Fame.
As John makes his way up, I'll highlight a few things that Mike Gore said. John did lead us to a Big South Conference regular season championship his freshman year and a Big South championship in 2011. He totaled 255 blocks in his career, which is the second most in school history. He is one of just 18 players in the Big South to score 1,000 points, more than 500 rebounds, and 200 block shots. He's the first Bulldog to compete in the slam dunk contest at the NCAA Final Four, and I think he won too. John graduated in 2011, played for the Harlem Globetrotters as John the Jet, and then upon returning to Asheville, as Mike has said, he's not only a successful businessman, family man, but he is going to be like the next Jay Billis, so take your pictures because he's with ESPN. John Williams, please come up.
Wow. Thank you so much. Thank you. Mike Gore, I mean, that guy is phenomenal. I really do appreciate you and what you've done for me. This is a great honor. First off, I want to congratulate all the other Hall of Fame inductees and what you guys have done. And just thinking about Kevin Madison talking about Brad DeWeese, I do remember those times, man, as far as when you guys would always have your workouts first, and then basketball would come in second, and then I would just look at your eyes. I'd look at Kevin, at your eyes and Alan Durant's eyes, and I'd see the pain that I was about to endure. And just watching that, I knew we were in for a tough time, but it definitely helped, and I see the results that it's done for all of us athletes here at UNC Asheville, and so that just resonated with me a little bit. But first off, I would like to thank God for giving me my gifts, all the things that didn't come, natural to most, but I'm so thankful for that. One being the jumping ability, the athleticism, but some of that is also genetics. My mom and dad are champions. Janet, I'm thankful for you, your guidance. You still talk to me and we talk on the phone, and she gives me a lot of advice on how to attack this idea or this in my career and how to continue to advance. And so I'm thankful for you. Mike Gore, you have been a huge advocate, and honestly, the reason why I was able to get into the college slam dunk contest, I feel like he bugged ESPN over and over and over again with films and highlight to be able to get me into it. And so from there, we were able to just take off and, like he said, hope for the best. But, you guys can watch that on YouTube and tell me what you think. Coach Biedenbach, my head coach at UNC Asheville for my 4 years there. The fact that he is still coaching me. I had a ESPNU game that I was calling, and me and him talked today. He's not going to be here today. Obviously, he's got some sickness going on, but him and I were talking about my last game that I had, and he gave me some pointers, and some of them good, some of them bad, but was definitely still giving me advice, still breathing into me, and I know that he wished he could be here. He actually wanted me to share a story with you guys. I'm going to try my best to. I'm not gonna go over 5, okay? But he just said speaking of Mike Gore's toss back to when we played against the Chanticleers of Coastal Carolina, and I had a situation in the game where a guy named, I think his last name was Rafa, he went down the lane and shot this floater up, and I went and got it, and I cuffed it. Cliff Ellis was over there screaming, goaltending, and I'm over there drinking those tears. It was fun. It was fun. And, Eddie wanted me to talk about that a little bit because he said that was one of the biggest moments that he has seen in a long time. And he wanted me to tell you that he's sad that he could not make it here, but at the same time in spirit, he is here. And, I could not be here without Eddie Biedenbach. I mean, he was a fantastic coach for me. Definitely taught me my morals. We talk now about being a dad and a husband and being a girl dad at that. And then obviously understanding the key words of yes, dear, and how that can get you out of a lot of situations just by complying. He said comply and survive. Coach Nash, one of my assistants, coming to Virginia to scout me at Christ Church. He stayed in an awful motel, he told me. He said that he had to went to Walmart, put some additional sheets on top of the bed that they gave him. And he said he did all that to come and get me. And I'm appreciative of him for coming on that visit to Christ Church School in Virginia to see me in my workout. Coach Glenn Taylor, he is my high school coach. He is here today. Thank you for being here, Coach. Coach Taylor was big bro. I mean, he really was. I mean, in a situation where I had to go to a boarding school away from my mom and dad, when I had to go to that boarding school, he really kept me poised, kept me looking at the prize, and kept developing me to get ready to play at the next level. So thank you, Coach Glenn Taylor, for that. Pat Grimes. That was when I first got to Asheville, and everybody deals with their culture shock when they go to a different place and trying to adapt and adjust. And Coach Biedenbach, he wanted me to stay up in the summertime to continue to develop, to grow, understand the system. And he said, how are you going to be able to, do the summer school, get an apartment, all that stuff? And I was just like, I guess I'll try to find a job. And he was just like, well, hold on, let me link you up with somebody. And it was Pat over at Harry's on the Hill. And I was able to go there, work, but gain so much more with that relationship. Pat and I still talk, once a month, and just checking on family, seeing how everybody's doing. And so those lifelong relationships that I've been able to develop is because I came here. All my teammates, everybody that I played with, everybody that played before me, I consider you a teammate or a brother. You know, what I found out is that we all have the ability to enhance each other. You know, I can try my best by doing whatever I can on the floor to enhance my teammates, and they can do the same for me. And I am so appreciative of those guys because I'm not here without them. I'm not here without us being in the locker room and cheering each other on, and also being honest, being transparent. Sometimes you got to break each other down in order to build each other up, and sometimes you have to be brutally honest. And I appreciate my teammates for that transparency. I appreciate them for challenging me. I appreciate them for paving the way. I appreciate those before me for paving the way and giving me something to aspire to be. And here's the thing, even though I would say that the Hall of Fame is a great thing to have, it was nothing better than hoisting up that trophy in the Big South tournament. It's nothing better than that. It's an amazing accolade, and I'm so appreciative of it. But winning that championship with my brothers, hugging my mom and dad on that court, dancing all over that Chanticleer, that was beautiful. It was awesome. And I will never forget that, and I thank my teammates for that. Now, I also don't make it, and I don't hoist up that trophy if I don't keep my grades up. That was the most important thing. That's what my mom and dad wanted me to do. They wanted me to get an education. But in order for me to be on that floor, I had to keep those grades up. And so I just want to thank a couple of professors. Dan Henschler, Bob Yearout. I don't know how I made it, but if that's how I made it. Bob Yearout. Brian Schaefer, Chris Bell, Linda Nelms. They helped me to transition into my career now. I don't make it out of the business and econ gauntlet without those people. I also don't make it out of school without my mom. You were my motivation because you did something rare. You worked a full-time job, as well as mothering 3, while deciding to go back to school to get your degree and your master's. It was a beautiful thing. It's inspiring, motivating. Watching you do the impossible and make it look effortless. That is why I'm not afraid to take on challenges and adversity. My father, Roger Williams, thank you for just being there. Thank you for being available for me when I needed you. Waking up early every morning, having me chase that truck with the Rottweiler just sitting on the back watching me. Throwing me into 12-foot pools with weight vests on and jumping up to the top for air. Some people may call that, bad parenting. I call that, 48. I call that 48-inch vertical. That's what I call that. Thank you. Dad challenging me to never be content. And finally, breaking generational curses by just being present. Your dad wasn't there, but you were still there for me. I look around growing up, and it never dawned to me that my peers didn't have their dad around. I appreciate you, Pop, more than you know. You taught me how to be a father. You taught me how to stay around. For my daughter, Sayla and Izzy, and how to be a husband that treats his wife with respect and love. That's you, Pop. So thank you. Finally, to my beautiful wife, Whitney Williams, you make me better. You make me want to be better. Thank you for those beautiful girls that you've given me, where I'm able to be a dad. Thank you for saying yes. You could have easily said no, so that I could be your husband. Thank you for your spirit. Thank you for being beside me in the good, the bad, and the ugly. And if I can get inducted into your Hall of Fame 40 or 50 years later, it'll all be worth it. Again, if I missed anyone, just know I'm appreciative of you, and I'm thankful for your contribution to me, as well as our program. I am so very filled and proud to be able to call myself a Bulldog. Thank you.
I think Michael's going to make his way back up here. Congratulations. I want to thank TD Bank again for sponsoring the Athletic Hall of Fame, but I also want to remind everybody, Bulldog Athletics, champions in athletics, leaders in life. And yes, I remember baseball, something about Coastal Carolina, we just get them so bad. I remember those championships John's talking about. I still can vividly see Betsy's mother on the floor of the Justice Center. Those championships are great. But I'm telling you, this university, we're doing the right thing because we got leaders in life, whether there are coaches, administrators, or whether there are former student athletes now who are out in this world. This university is important, not just to this community, but we're important to the world because our alumni are all over. And as one of my new colleagues would say, Bulldogs belong. So thank you so much for everything you do for us and all the faculty members and the family members too. It's a proud night to be a Bulldog. Thank you so much.
That's wonderful. Thank you, Janet. And thank you all for the Hall of Fame honorees. It just so happens to be a coincidence that I got something in my eye during that one. So, but yeah, that was a really magical moment. For our last two awards of the evening, I'm going to invite up someone very special, our leader and chair of our Alumni Association Board of Directors. He was a leader on campus, and he's a leader in this movement of connecting our Bulldog family and getting them more engaged with college. So please welcome up Cortland Mercer, class of 2011.
It's my honor to conclude our evening with two very special awards, starting with the Mullen James Award for Social Justice and Equity Impact. This award is given annually to a member of the UNCA community, to honor Dr. D and Dr. Charles James, Dr. Dolly Jenkins Mullen, and Dr. Dwight Mullen, two of my favorite professors. These four professors dedicated their personal and professional careers to social justice, equity, and inclusion within their fields. They inspired thousands of students over the course of their multi-decade tenure at UNCA, helping students to not only have a greater understanding of these vital issues, but to take action within their own spaces and their own communities. Tonight's recipient, former Councilwoman and Vice Mayor Wilhelmina Bratton, perfectly exemplifies the spirit of this award. Ms. Bratton, please join me at the podium. Wilhelmina was born and raised in Asheville, and she was chosen for this award because she dedicated her life to taking action where she saw injustice. She knew this community could be better, that it needed to be better, and that she needed to enter politics to make this vision a reality. As Asheville's first Black female city council representative and first Black vice mayor, she led an effort to make elections more equitable, transparent, and just, and during her nearly decade of public service, helped shape Asheville into the community we all know and love. Wilhelmina continues her work to this day and spends her time speaking about her experiences and reminding us all of where we've been as a community and what we can do to be better. Please join me in congratulating former Councilwoman Wilhelmina Bratton.
Thank you very much. Good evening, everybody. I usually can talk without the mic, but tonight I'll use the mic. It's just an honor to even be thought about, to be in this company of my university, which I care so much about. And as I heard the different classes being mentioned, I'm proud to be a graduate of the class of 1978. UNCA has always been a leader in this community and had an open door for all who wanted to walk through. So many years ago, I decided that I would walk through, and the arms were open as I opened the door. And I can tell you that this university has laid the foundation for me and the confidence in me that I've been able to and continue to be able to compete with the best and the brightest throughout this country and some countries throughout the world. So my hat's off to UNCA and all it has done. And it's time for us as alumni to put our shoulder to the wheel and make it better for the next generation in Asheville and beyond. I just want to give a thanks to my family who has come over the hills and over the dales to be here tonight with me. To Clarice Bratton, my daughter, Dr. Charles Bratton, my son, Ms. Cardia Bratton, an attorney, and my love, Noelle Spangler, my granddaughter. And I want to thank all the many friends that are out there. And I thank you for the time that you have spent and that you are spending with me tonight. I will just say again, thank you so much for the honor for selecting me. I'm really very pleased to accept this award. And trust me, I will put it in a place where I will watch it, and I'm here to serve this university in my years of retirement. Just call me up. Thank you.
Our final award this evening is the Roy A. Taylor Distinguished Alumni of the Year Award, named in honor of the university's first valedictorian, founder of its first alumni association, and distinguished member of the United States Congress. The Roy A. Taylor Distinguished Alumnus or Alumna Award is the highest award given to graduates of UNC Asheville and its predecessor colleges. Dr. Kevin Frazier, please join me at the podium. Kevin is the type of transformative leader that truly changes people's lives. His dedication to our campus and to the broader Asheville community are unparalleled. And having met Kevin as a student more than 15 years ago, I consider it one of the great honors of my life to call Kevin a friend. If you look at his bio in your program, you'll see he's held just about every job on campus during his remarkable tenure. He served on the faculty. He ran the honors program. He opened the Highsmith Union when he was the director of student life. And he's the founder of just about every significant campus tradition we celebrate today. Given his numerous contributions, we won't begrudge his more recent work at that other institution, Biltmore Park. But that's who Kevin is. He's a true community leader, not just for UNC Asheville or Asheville, but for all of Western North Carolina. He's an author, he's a philanthropist, he's an incredible small business owner, and we honor him tonight for all he has done for our campus and for our region. Please join me in congratulating Dr. Kevin Frazier.
Thank you, Cortland. I was a little nervous when I learned Cortland was going to introduce me. It is so good to see all these familiar and friendly faces. It is so good to be home. I can still remember my first day at UNC Asheville like it was just yesterday. August 18th, 1988. The hottest day recorded in Asheville history in the 20th century. Literally, I'm not kidding. I'm not going to fib about the weather at a university that has an atmospheric science program. I remember going up the main drive in my burgundy, it was the 80s, Ford Tempo, and then heading to the Highsmith Center, or heading around the Highsmith Center to the high-rise. 2 notes. First, you could still get from University Heights to high-rise by car back then. Brown Dining Hall now sits where the road used to be. And second, high-rise is the building that others in here will know as Founders Hall. When the 7-story building opened in 1982, UNC Asheville was not seriously creative and simply named it high-rise. We named it Founders Hall in 1997 when we held our first Founders Day celebration and presented the first Roy Taylor Alumnus of the Year Award in honor of Congressman Taylor, who had passed just 2 years earlier. There may never have been a stronger supporter of this university. He loved his alma mater for over 6 decades and was instrumental in its success, including joining the University of North Carolina system. I moved into room 406 with my 8th grade buddy Ken. And did I mention it was the hottest day ever recorded in the 20th century in Asheville? And did I mention that high-rise had no air conditioning? And it had little flip-out windows that only opened 8 inches. Now, I am not saying that there's a secondary story here about a failed attempt to install a contraband air conditioner that day in room 406, but I'm not saying it's not true either. But suffice it to say, within 24 hours, we went to Sears, back when you could still go to Sears, and bought 2 double window fans that were installed, never removed, and never turned off. We'd learned in the month ahead that it was still hot as hell in that building, even in the middle of the winter. As soon as we got settled in, we headed to the quad for freshman convocation. Chancellor Dave Brown gave a stirring speech as we sat on the lawn sweltering in the midday heat. It was so hot that students were dropping like flies. Nonetheless, the event was full of pomp and circumstance, the kind that makes for a great academic ceremony, the kind that I love. The faculty were in their regalia, there was live music and a processional, and Chancellor Brown wore a hubcap-sized medallion that would have made Flavor Flav proud. As we walked back to our dorm, back in the 80s, they were still dorms and not residence halls, my roommate was in shock and just kept saying over and over, "This is going to be different. This isn't high school. This is going to be different. This isn't high school. This is going to be different." And it was. UNC Asheville opened my mind in ways that I didn't even know I needed. My faculty pushed me to limits class after class after class. I remember the Humanities 124 class studying creation stories where I came to understand that a myth doesn't have to be factual to be true. The Women's Studies class where I had the aha moment and finally realized the difference between sex and gender and the importance of the distinction. And the moment after UNC Asheville in grad school in a historiography class where my classmates were struggling with the work my UNC Asheville faculty had me do when I was a junior. UNC Asheville pushed me past limits I did not know I even had. As equally as valuable was my experience outside of the classroom applying my newfound knowledge. I spent most of my time outside of class in student government and eventually had the privilege to serve as president my senior year. And just like the classroom, it pushed me in ways that I never knew were possible for me. These experiences taught me how to be an adult, how to navigate in the professional world, and how to be a leader. My UNC Asheville experience would lead to a career in higher education as a faculty member in history, as an administrator in academic affairs, student affairs, and advancement. It's still pretty atypical to cross fields in higher ed leadership like that, but I'm from a university that taught me how to learn and how to problem solve. We're liberal arts graduates after all. That's what we do. I never would have guessed in my wildest dreams when I moved in that day that UNC Asheville was going to set me on a path for a career in higher education, and that I would come back while finishing up grad school to be hired on the faculty. I was the 7th UNC Asheville graduate to become a member of the faculty at UNC Asheville. And when I was hired, I was the youngest faculty member the university had hired. And I don't say that for accolades. I say that because I want to say thank you to the faculty and the vice chancellor and the chancellors who welcomed me back not as a student, but as a true colleague, and gave me opportunity to serve for nearly 2 decades in leadership at the university, who gave a mountain boy, the first in his family to go to college, a fulfilling career and a meaningful life. I am who I am today because of UNC Asheville. What's your UNC Asheville story? How has UNC Asheville shaped your life? Maybe UNC Asheville gave you the research, critical thinking, and writing skills to become a civil rights attorney for the Department of Justice. Maybe UNC Asheville taught you to be a meteorologist and communicator such that you're the voice of the National Center for Environmental Information today. Maybe UNC Asheville hired you as one of the first women to head a Division I-A athletics program. Maybe you were the biology student that Dr. Clark told to find another major, who then found passion in political science and who just wrapped up a successful 20-year career on Capitol Hill. Maybe you're the mass comm major who spent 30 years as head of public relations for one of the nation's most highly acclaimed public radio stations. Maybe you're the student who came to tell Dr. Frazier you were gay and nervously told him you had just won your first drag pageant to become a community leader in transgender issues. Maybe UNC Asheville taught you the business skills that led you to become a master brewer and distiller and business owner today. Maybe you're the event manager that I stole from the Grove Park Inn years ago and made, sorry about that, Gary, and made a deep imprint a mile wide and a mile deep at UNC Asheville. Maybe you were the first black student who lived in the dorms who later became one of our most beloved faculty members. Maybe UNC Asheville taught you to write and you're a New York Times best-selling author 3 times over. Maybe you're the student leader who has made black home ownership the centerpiece of her real estate career. Maybe you're the history student who came back to and worked in student affairs and who has been and remains one of the most trusted and beloved mentors for literal hundreds of students. Maybe you're the student who came from the middle of nowhere, West Virginia, who UNC Asheville taught to be a leader and who now has a distinguished career in nonprofit management and elected community leadership. And maybe you're the troublemaking SGA president who I hired as an intern in the alumni office there last year so I could harness some of that trouble for good, and who I now call for professional advice about thought leadership and strategic communication, and who now chairs the alumni board and just presented me the Roy Taylor Award. What's your UNC Asheville story? Since its founding in 1927 as Biltmore Junior College, the University of North Carolina at Asheville has been about access and opportunity, about scrappiness, and about marching to a different drum. When I give talks on Asheville and Western North Carolina history, I make clear that from the Cherokee to the Scotch-Irish, settling in Western North Carolina was not a decision based on ease and convenience. Living in these ancient mountains takes grit and determination. And the same can be said of our alma mater. I didn't realize at the time, but I was drawn to UNC Asheville's scrappiness, and I realized right quick that, like me, my classmates marched to the beat of a different drum. Now, I could have gone to school in Chapel Hill, but I'll be honest, it just seemed so usual, like what I was supposed to do. And I got into another school in Winston-Salem, but 1 year there was going to cost my family as much as my 4 years did at UNC Asheville. It seemed a good idea to not impoverish my family for my college education. Even though we're almost 100 years old, we're still a work in progress. We're small for a state school, but big for a liberal arts college. We're about critical thinking and leadership at a time when neither seem especially valued in our culture. And we are scrappy. We play bigger than our own weight class. I am proud to be a UNC Asheville graduate and hope you, whether you're a graduate, a student, employee, or a friend, that when you walk out of the building tonight, there's a little swagger, a deep felt pride in being part of UNC Asheville. Our university finds itself in precarious times. The number of high school students in the country is the lowest it has been in decades and still dropping. UNC Asheville has seen that in low enrollment. The labor market is the most volatile it has ever been, and UNC Asheville is feeling it in high employee turnover. And American education is in a state of flux like never before and is facing attacks from all sides. And we feel it at UNC Asheville, and having had 5 chancellors in only 8 years. Our university needs now, more than ever before, our time, our talent, and our treasure. Our time is needed not only to volunteer on boards and participate in events, but to help recruit students. There are no better student recruiters than a university's own graduates. Families want to know what their students will get out of the investment in a UNC Asheville degree. Tell your neighbors, your colleagues, the kids at church and temple about UNC Asheville. Whether you're 25 or 65, your fundamental UNC Asheville experience is the same, and the institutional values that brought you here remain. UNC Asheville needs our talent. How can you in your professional and leadership roles make connections for the university, the faculty, the staff, and the students? How can you use your network to help alumni? Friends, we need to show some of that UNC Asheville swagger, not out of arrogance, far from it, but as a message that UNC Asheville is a great university from which to earn your degree and a great university to support. And friends, I'm not going to be shy tonight to say that our alma mater needs our treasure. Please consider making an annual gift to UNC Asheville. Set it up automatically at Much and consider a leadership gift in your lifetime as well as a bequest. As the university works to grow enrollment and grows its budget under a new state funding model, our resources are needed more than ever to truly provide that margin of excellence. When you're a university that doesn't march to the same drumbeat as everybody else, you need extra resources to do good work. Gifts to UNC Asheville helped me afford a college degree, and they gave me really special opportunities to travel while I was a student. We need to do the same for today's students. The university's motto, Lewa Oculos, Meos, and Montes, comes from Psalms 121. I lift my eyes into the mountains, and from where does my help come? From God. I'm a strong believer that the Creator helps those who help themselves, and UNC Asheville needs our help. I am deeply honored by this award, and I am deeply thankful for all that UNC Asheville has given this boy from Appalachia. Most especially, a treasured group of friends whose presence tonight mean more than words have the power to express. Hail our alma mater, Hail UNCA. Learning be your watchword, and greatness be your way. The greatness of our university, as noted in the words of our alma mater, is in our hands. What's your UNC Asheville story today and tomorrow? I am grateful to accept this award and appreciate the acknowledgement of what I have done, but receive it as a reminder of what I have left to do. Thank you.
Thank you, Kevin, and congratulations to everybody who's been with us here tonight. It's a true pleasure to share this space during this time which we call homecoming, where we come home and we come home to our UNC Asheville. So thank you all for being here. Congratulations again to all of the award winners. Let's go out there tomorrow and get that dub, and let's go Bulldogs.